Promise we don't bite.
The mayor may call on you. Be careful.
Yeah, I might call on you. All right, good evening. I want to call to order this meeting of the Wendell Town Board of Commissioners, and welcome. We have a full house tonight. That's always nice. We love it when we have a lot of folks here while we're conducting business for the town of Wendell. We're going to be led in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight by Wendell Middle School student Molly Pretty. And this is what I received from the principal at Wendell Middle. We are proud to celebrate Molly Pretty, a 7th grade student at Wendell Magnet Middle School, where she is a dedicated member of our band and enjoys both chorus and drama. Over the course of the last 2 years, Molly has been noticed for far more than her own gifts and talents. She's been noticed for her care, concern, and kindness for others. At a young age, Molly has demonstrated a mature moral compass that is grounded in a sense of empathy and compassion for the needs of others. Henry David Thoreau posed the question, could a greater miracle take place than for us to look through each other's eyes for an instant? In many ways, Molly fulfills this aspiration because she chooses to look at the needs and actions of others around her, and she speaks up for those who may not have the courage and of voice. Of course, we are proud of Molly's hard work in her classes, her perseverance through challenges, and her creativity in the arts, but what really sets Molly apart from others is her integrity and her character. We look forward to seeing her continue to grow as a leader in our next school year. But more than that, we look forward to seeing how her ability to look through the eyes of others throughout her life will allow her to have an impact far beyond herself. My goodness, I'm so very proud of you for that. Very proud of you. All right. And Molly's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Molly. Our invocation tonight, we're going to hear from Dennis Calhoun from the Calvary Faith Center. Good evening. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you for inviting us here. As we enter the spring, as we enter the Lenten and Easter seasons, anyway, we'd like to make everyone aware that we will again be providing Lenten lunches during the Lenten season on Wednesdays, beginning on March 5th. It's a light lunch and a devotional, that is hosted by the council, multiple churches participating, and we'd like to invite everyone out there on when it'll be held at the Wendell United Methodist Church Fellowship Hall, and it'll begin on March 5th. It'll be Wednesdays beginning on March 5th from noon to 1. So just want to invite everyone out for that if you can make it. And then obviously Easter Sunday is April 20th, and we will be hosting an Easter sunrise service on April 20th at the town square. So we invite everyone to that as well. So with that, if we could go to the Lord in prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us here this evening. Thank you for what you are doing and working here in our town. Thank you for the leaders that you have raised up. Thank you for the residents and businesses and folks that you are drawing here, Lord. Father, we pray tonight as the business of the town carries forward, Lord, that you would give us the wisdom and understanding, Lord, to make the right decisions and give us everything we need to make good decisions. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Are there any adjustments to the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
All right, we have a motion to approve the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. We'll move into our public comment period now. And this is a chance for citizens to address the town board. I feel like I haven't made it clear in the past, so I want to make sure everyone understands it's not for addressing town staff. It's for addressing the town board If you have a question that you'd like to ask, you can ask it to us, and I usually try to make a note of them and see if we can't get some answers for you for that. But that's the purpose of public comment period, and actually during public hearings as well. To participate in public comment period, you can sign up the night of the meeting if attending in purpose by the door, and you have 3 minutes to speak, or you can submit your written statements via email to the town clerk by the Friday prior to the town board meeting at 1, on Monday, rather, and you need to do that by 5 p.m. Include your name and address for the record, and I feel like you should probably include the agenda item number as well. And the comments that are timely received will be read into the record for the length of 3 minutes. Tonight, we have several people signed up, but it looks like they are all here for the public hearing that's taking place tonight. So, would anyone like to be heard now, or would you rather wait until the public hearing? Or we can go through the names one at a time. Elizabeth Baker,
I'm fine either way,
would you like to?
now or later.
Okay, why don't you hold on then? Emily Mills, Anna Saucili, I can't read that. Wait, okay. Christina Tuthill, Cassie Parsons, Rob Lee, Ivory, okay. Justin Wilson, or Jason Wilson? John, okay. And Lara Denton? Okay, okay. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll move into section 4, recognitions, reports, and presentations. And we have only one tonight. Item 4A is the recognition of Wendell Middle School teacher, Miss Katrina Lutz. She's got a fan club here with her tonight. And I received this from her principal. We are proud to celebrate Miss Lutz with the Town of Wendell recognition because of the calm presence, relentless advocacy, and steadfast leadership that she shares with our students and school family each day. As educators, we can learn many things in college to prepare us for this work, but there is no class we can take or book we can read that teaches us how to be a humble leader who connects with both students and staff and provides just the right support at just the right moment for just the right person. We can only learn these skills by watching someone like Ms. Lutz as she gently navigates building relationships, holding high expectations, and cultivating confidence in others. While at Wendell Magnet Middle School, Ms. Lutz has served as a social studies teacher, a student council advisor, and now she is providing leadership for our Magnet team as they create innovative experiences for our students. Ms. Lutz came to Wendell Magnet Middle School after being a kindergarten teacher. So I suppose everything I need to know I learned in kindergarten is a true adage. But in our case, it is everything I need to know I learned from an amazingly talented kindergarten teacher who shares her experience, kindness, and love with us. That's so very nice.
Thank you. I will say thank you to the people who brought me here. Thank you to my Wendell family. Thank you to my family who supports me no matter what. And of course, thank you to the town of Wendell for allowing me to be here for this recognition. And I'm super nervous, so thanks
okay.
for giving me the time. You guys have a great evening.
We just wanted to have you here to thank you, though. I want to thank you for what you do for our kids in Wendell, so thank you for that.
Thank you
We
so much.
appreciate you.
Thanks.
Yes, ma'am. All right, let's move into section 5, our public hearings. We have one tonight. Item 5A is an evidentiary hearing on a special use permit request by Rob Lee of Expressions of Worship 2 LLC to allow a studio dance martial arts use at an existing building located at 31 North Main Street, PIN number 1784608003. Can we first hear from the town attorney about the SUP hearing guidelines, please?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Ann?
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes.
This is what's called a quasi-judicial proceeding, which means it's a due process hearing. which means that certain requirements are imposed in a hearing such as this. Unlike a legislative hearing where council can make a decision based on their discretion, with a due process hearing, you are required to make your decision based on the evidence presented to you tonight in the public hearing. The statutes require that if the criteria in the ordinance are met, then the permit should be allowed, and if they're not met, then the permit should not be allowed. And it requires substantial, competent, and credible evidence to support a decision. It's not a referendum or a popularity decision. It's based entirely on the evidence that's presented.
And the people who speak have to be sworn.
And the people who speak has to be sworn. Thank you very much.
Okay, so that means if you want to speak if you signed up, that's great, but you don't have to have been signed up. But you need to say so now. So you can be sworn and then decide that you're not going to speak after all, but you need to do it now just in case you decide that you'd like to say something. And if you'd like to speak and offer testimony tonight, you need to stand up and come up, and the town clerk is going to swear everybody in. This can't be everybody because 9 people signed up. Y'all come on up here. This is your chance. Okay. Let's hear from town staff.
Good evening, Mayor and board members. The item before you tonight is an evidentiary hearing on a special use permit request by Rob Lee of Expressions of Worship to allow for a studio dance martial arts use at the existing building at 31 North Main Street. We're asking that you hold the hearing tonight and act on the special use permit request for the property. As we mentioned, the intent is to upfit the current building from a bakery to a dance studio with retail sales. The plan is to divide the ground floor into 3 equal-sized rooms with a retail dance space in the front of the building facing Main Street, and dance rooms in the middle and rear. The second floor will be designed to have 2 large rooms with an entry staircase from the front of the building as well as the rear of the building. The applicant has stated they will be consolidating their current classes, which are currently being held at 32 North Main Street, and 2 local churches to this new location. They expect roughly 500 students to be attending dance classes at 31 North Main Street. An analysis, the use is classified as studio art, dance, martial arts, music, and that encompasses a variety of uses, including the dance studio, based on the definition of the UDO. Project setting, the building at 31 North Main Street was most recently a bakery. It's located downtown in the same block as Everest Kitchen, Wendell Masonic Lodge, Sip and Shop Cafe, Bravo's Pizza, Carolina Brewing, and the Ash and Dill Gastro Pub. On the opposite side of North Main Street is the Wendell General Store, KB's Barbershop, Edward Jones Financial, Wendell Barbershop, Gray Tree Clothing, and the Simply Blush Bridal Shop. If the SUP is approved, the applicant has stated that his application that 32 North Main Street will become available for rent. Here's a map showing the downtown core, in this case, with other SUPs that have been granted over the years for different properties in this block and a half, basically. It is classified as downtown mixed-use zoning. It's coded to encourage redevelopment and expansion of your traditional downtown area. Individual buildings are encouraged to be mixed vertically with street-level commercial and upper-level residential or commercial uses. Higher densities of residential development are encouraged in the downtown mixed use. Staff did create this map just showing you the other SUPs and where they were in relation to this project. Special use criteria, it's key to note that this criteria is in our ordinance, and applicants must have comments based on each of these criteria that we provide. We also then provide our staff comments. So I'll go through each of the criteria, these are reviewed basically at every single special use permit. The first one, that the proposed use does not affect adversely the general plans for the physical development of the town as embodied in this ordinance. The DMX zoning district is designed for retail businesses and service that attract customers to the area. The proposed use will not be contrary to the purposes stated for these regulations. The UDO permits retail use in the DMX and a dance studio with a special use permit. The retail is permitted. The dance studio does need to come before this board for a special use permit. The proposed use will not adversely affect the health and safety of residents and workers. Expressions of Worship Dance Studio has been part of the downtown community for many years at 32 North Main. The applicant has stated in his application that the dance studio will adhere to all fire, safety, and occupancy codes, ensuring a safe environment for participants. Proper ventilation and soundproofing will mitigate noise and air quality concerns and maintain a clean and safe facility with regular inspections and upkeep to ensure compliance with local health and safety standards. I will, on this criteria, make a note that our town staff does not make a recommendation on special use permits, but if the board does find in favor of this, we ask that all permits be obtained by the property owner before opening. Criteria D, the proposed use will not be detrimental to the use of development of adjacent properties or other neighborhood uses. The proposed dance studio and retail business will abut the Masonic Lodge to the south and retail on the north side of the building. The proposed use will not be affected adversely by the existing use. A mixture of retail, restaurant, and other commercial uses exists within one block of the site, which is also the same block that the dance studio has been located for many years. Criterion F, the proposed use will be placed on a lot of sufficient size to satisfy the space requirements. The building is existing, will be upfit to have one retail space and 2 classrooms on the ground floor, and then 2 classrooms on the second floor. 1 additional restroom will be added to the ground floor, and 2 additional restrooms will be added to the second floor. Criterion G, the proposed use will not constitute a nuisance or hazard because of the number of persons who will attend. Based on the applicant's application, the hours of operation for the dance classes will be Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 4:30 to 8:30 p.m., and Wednesday and Friday from 4 to 6, being closed Saturday and Sundays. Per the application, there'll be approximately 20 students in 4 different classrooms. Classes will be roughly 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and 55 minutes, so they'll vary in those hours of operation. And since the classes are generally late afternoon or early evening, any noise generator or vehicular movement should not constitute a nuisance. Their hours end earlier in the evening than many other retail or other special use uses nearby. Criterion H, the standards set forth for each particular use for which a permit may be granted have been met. All building and fire codes for the building outfit will need to be met before any occupancy of the building can take place. The applicant, I am aware, is working with an architect to submit those plans, but there has been no permits issued based on if the SUP needs to be granted first. Criterion I, the board may impose or require such additional restrictions and conditions as may be necessary to protect health and safety. The board at any time may impose conditions at its discretion for these reasons. Criterion J, the proposed use shall be subject to the minimum area setback and other location requirements. The applicant is proposing to utilize an existing building within the DMX zoning. The setbacks are 0 along the front, side, and rear. The building is, pretty much built to the lot lines. There's a little room in the back, in the tobacco alley. There's most of the buildings have some space back there. The proposed use will utilize the existing building without any proposed change to building dimensions or setbacks. Criteria K, the proposed use shall be subject to off-street parking and service requirements. So the parking requirement for an office service use is 2 to 3 spaces per 1,000 square feet. The building is roughly 5,500 square feet, 11 spaces are required. The UDO does allow in the downtown mixed use that the spots immediately in front of the building can count. So there are 2 on street in the front. The applicant has entered into a parking agreement with Agave to satisfy the additional 9 required spaces. That agreement is in your packet. The applicant has also created a parking and drop-off plan detailing the process for drop-off and pickup of the students. That plan is actually in your packet as well. It is utilizing the alley for drop-off and pickup. Downtown mixed use is the land use classification in our comp plan. It certainly allows for a lot of commercial and uses such as retail, restaurant, personal service, and then office. Also, it allows for a mix of residential, hotel, civic, and event spaces as well. Staff comments. Town of Wendell Planning staff presents the staff analysis, but does not make a recommendation on special use permits. However, staff is requesting condition if the special use is approved. We are requesting that all applicable building permits, laws, and codes are obtained or maintained before occupancy. The legal advertisements were placed in the Wake Weekly and ran on February 14th and February 21st. Notification was mailed to adjacent property owners on February 12th, and a public hearing notice sign was placed on the property on February 11th. The applicant is required and did hold a neighborhood meeting on December 30th with 22 people in attendance. The meeting notes were included in your packet, and I can field any questions you have at this time.
Okay, let's open the public hearing. Any questions from the board? Yeah.
Ryan, could you talk about, you said we're working with an architect, but can you talk about the improvements that would need to be made fire code wise?
Yeah, so the use, as right now, many of the second floors upstairs, and a lot of them are used for storage. Anytime it's not used for storage, most likely would be a permit to meet building code for occupancy. In this case, they would be classrooms, and so that occupancy would change and would require a building permit for fire service to review, and is triggering bathrooms as well.
Okay. And I had one other question. In regards to the parking, I like the plan. I appreciate that it's moving the parking to the back. Is this the same thing we've run into with some of the other downtown businesses of us trying to find the parking? And I don't mean legitimately find the parking, but like count the number because of where it's located?
Yeah, another recent SUP was to create some apartments, 2 apartments at the corner of 3rd and Main, and to meet the requirements, they got to count a few of the spaces out front, but also needed, before a CO was granted for the apartments, needed to have parking within, I can't remember the 500 feet for the residents to use.
Thank you. I'm comfortable with the parking, so I don't have any other questions.
Anyone else? Any questions from the board? All right, does the applicant wish to be heard? Okay, come to the podium. Thank you. Give me your name and address.
Rob Lee, 340 Tarragon Trail, Wendell. I would just address some of the upfit and maybe construction concerns. The floor, so I've had a structural engineer, an architect meet me out there, and a couple building contractors. Our plan is to completely remove the floor. It won't sustain the weight and the occupancy rate that it is. We want to make sure the foundation is strong and secure, so we will be digging out to the subgrade to where it's full, backfilling with gravel, and then laying the required code inches of concrete. The upstairs needs to be structurally supported. We're going to do that by a simple steel beam structure that runs down the center of the building. The structural poles will be where the walls are designed, and so that will alleviate any more pressure on sidewalls and neighboring walls. It'll actually take it off those neighboring walls, and the complete structure will be down the center. So it will be a shell. I know it says it's a bakery now, but really it's just an empty shell at this point in time. Any more questions?
Anything else from the board?
I'm going to ask my questions just because I thought of it. So I'm not concerned about the parking number, but this is more formal than most process. I noticed that there's an arrangement with Agave. I would assume that whoever occupies that building in the future would be as gracious as the Rivieres are with the property that they currently lease. But my understanding is that they're closing, so I guess my question is, as long as I'm comfortable with that parking assessment and the parking plan that they've submitted, because as I said,
Yeah, well, when that letter was signed, that announcement hadn't been made at the time. And so, but there are backup plans for other areas if we needed
yeah,
to.
no, I really just, if I can get staff to.
I didn't know you talked.
Yeah, no, like, and I appreciate your plan. Like, I guess what I'm asking is my assumption fair? My feeling with it is that the parking has been accommodated for, and in all honesty, not really accommodated for by the parking spaces that we necessarily located, because there's a whole plan and timing around the plan, right, is laid out in this. I feel comfortable with that. I guess what I'm asking is that fair?
Yeah, you could have a condition based on if the parking agreement changes, it needs to be, the agreement needs to be updated and provided potentially with the new owner or another neighboring property.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's all I had, Madam Mayor.
All right, ready to hear from the citizens. And I don't have to call your name, just come on up if you were sworn, one at a time. Give me your name and address. This is a quick reminder that in this occasion, just like with public comment, you're addressing the board, and you don't get to ask questions of town staff, but you can ask us questions, and I'll try to make a note of them and get an answer for you if that doesn't wind up being answered in some way. You can watch the lights, and when it turns red, your 5 minutes is up.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you. My name is Elizabeth Baker, and I live at 102 Longleaf Pine Street in Clayton. I did grow up in the Wendell community, and I still consider myself a Wendell resident because I spend most of my weekends here in Wendell. So, first of all, thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak in favor of expressions of worship. I want to speak with you about the importance of expanding the expressions of worship dance studio. Back when I was a teenager, in about 2010, 2011, I was taking dances at Expression of Worship, and there would be breaks in between the classes, and the students would have nothing to do. Our choices were to go to Teddy's, or sit in the studio, or then the community center and wait for our next class, which could then be disruptive to the classes who were actively learning. This has changed with the recent developments in downtown. There's now businesses. I've heard from business owners back on December 30th about how they have parents come bring their kids in between classes to go get ice cream at the general store, go get a drink from 41 North. Some parents go to the Bearded Bee to hang out for a couple of minutes while their child is in class. There are some things to do in between classes for the students, which is contributing to the revenue of downtown. They're able to go spend money. They're able to help downtown businesses stay afloat. I know there's also going to be a positive with the travel time with teenagers, as less time teenagers are going to be on the road driving around Wendell. Right now, it is completely possible for a dancer to have one class at Petsaba Baptist Church, one class at Central Baptist Church, and then one class in downtown Wendell, and that's moving locations every week. This is also going to be a benefit for families having it all in one location. When I was a dancer, my sister was also a dancer. It could have been where my parents dropped us both off, went to our classes, and picked us both up. Now, once again, you have one daughter at one location, one daughter at the other, and you and your spouse have to juggle that. I understand parking is an issue for downtown. I've been there. Thursday night's my dance class. On Main, it's hard to find a parking spot. But this is an issue that has occurred with any downtown that has experienced recent development and growth. Also, with multiple families spending their time and money downtown, while kids is attending class, once again, revenue, not just from the dancers, but from the families. This is also revenue that these businesses could potentially lose if, with the studio's growth, they have to find a new location. So those are my thoughts. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Good evening. My name is Emily Mills. My address is 210 East Haywood Street in Wendell. Thank you all for allowing me the time to speak tonight. As a lifelong Wendell resident, and also an Expressions of Worship dance mom, I'm here to urge your support of the special use permit. Expressions of Worship Dance Studio requires in order to expand to a second location on Main Street. As a lifetime Wendell resident, I have loved to see over the past many years how Wendell can be home to new growth and new businesses while also maintaining the rich traditions of our small town charm that we're all so proud of. And having Expressions of Worship on Main Street for multiple generations is absolutely a part of that charm. Admittedly, I was more involved with athletics through Parks and Rec growing up, but I did dance at what was then Ginger Lee's studio for 1 year as a child. I also saw my sister dance at Ginger Lee's turned Expressions of Worship, all the way from childhood through high school graduation. And now I get to see my daughters be a part of the same studio with the same teachers in the same downtown. And that is one of the benefits of small town charm that honestly anybody outside of a small town will never understand. But of course, in a growing community like Wendell, maintaining a thriving business also requires growth. If you take a moment and consider two of our neighboring towns, Clayton and Knightdale, the number of activities available for families for their children's extracurriculars is likely much greater than what Wendell has to offer simply based on size. And it's all within a convenient 15-mile drive of Wendell. With the expansion of EOW to a second location or a larger location on Main Street, this is one way to allow Wendell residents to keep their Wendell kids involved with Wendell activities, not to mention all of the out-of-town families who bring their business into Wendell through the dance studio. But it's not just EOW that benefits. While waiting for my daughter's class downtown, I have the option to take my other kids to get ice cream down the street, grab a coffee or a social district beverage for myself, and shop downtown businesses. Once class is over, we can walk to dinner at one of our downtown restaurants or place a takeout order to go home. The last 2 years, my daughter's classes were held at Central Baptist because the studio downtown isn't large enough to accommodate all the classes. Even now, my older daughter attends class at Hepzibah. For both of these alternate locations, I sit in my car or I sit in the lobby to wait for class to finish. When I'm at these other locations, I don't have the same access at the same convenience to when we are down on Main Street at the studio. I have a 7, a 5, a 4, and a 2-year-old, and at this stage of my life, if it's not convenient on a busy school night, it's not going to happen. So by having class downtown every week, multiple times a week, Wendell businesses are much more likely to have my patronage. Thank you all again for your time, and now I wait with excited anticipation to hear 5 aye votes in favor of this special use permit for Expressions of Worship Dance Studio. Thank you for your support.
Hi guys, my name is Cassandra Parsons and I grew up in Wendell. It is still my hometown. It's where we are every day of the week. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity. 250 South Wick Avenue, Clayton, 27527. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak with you guys tonight. I started dancing with the studio when it was Ginger Lee's School of Dance. Dance and Ginger and Christy have had my heart for a really long time. I waited many, many years until I had a daughter that I could enroll in dance. And as soon as she turned 3 years old, I called Ginger and said, hey, it's time. We started at the studio last year, but we were never actually in the studio. We started at Central Baptist. We started at Central Baptist, bringing the dance studio fully into downtown versus 3 locations that they are in right now will only allow room for growth for students and parents and allow businesses in Wendell to continue to thrive with the business that we, the parents, as customers will bring. Last year, I said we were at Central. I sat in the car or the lobby of the church for the duration of her 45-minute class. I hope and I pray that the decision to allow the studio to buy what was Carter's is approved to fully allow the studio to operate downtown. It has been a business that has been in Wendell for 30 years and has just continued to thrive and grow. This year, we are at the downtown studio, and so while my daughter is in class, my son and my other daughter and I get to walk down to all the businesses and support them locally. We are able to walk into 41 North for coffee for me, always, and the general store for ice cream for kids. We hit up Bravo's for pizza and all the places that are in our town that we love. I hope that the special use permit is granted for this reasons and for the business to be able to continue to thrive and grow. Thank you for your time.
Good evening. My name is Ivory Bear. My address is 6020 Applewhite Road in Wendell, 27591. I will not reiterate everything that everyone has said, though I certainly could. I guess from what I understood from the opening is that this permit is based on the facts of whether or not it meets the criteria. So the only thing that I will say or add, if I am allowed, I've been sitting in the back and watching people come in as this meeting has been going on, and I have seen a number of little girls come in their dance leotards. They came here late because they've been at class. And can I ask all the little girls to stand up? Is that an outburst? Okay. If you are a current or former dancer at Expressions of Worship, please stand up. These people came here on a Monday night after they've had full days of work and school and dance to come out and support a studio that they love. And I just ask that you see that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else?
My name is Laura Deaton. I live at 524 Golden Plum Lane in Zebulon. I was born and raised in Wendell, and will forever always be home for me, as well as Expressions of Worship. I started there when I was 3. I was a dancer for 20 years. I was a teacher, and now I'm a dance mom. So it is full circle for me. Emily mentioned small town charm multiple times, and that's why I love Wendell. One of the charms of Wendell is the history that we offer. Expressions of Worship is part of that history. The service that they have provided to this community tells a story of service, the service of teaching an art to students, the service of teaching lessons of kindness, courage, passion, and love that will carry on to the next generation to come. The service that is provided to parents to allow them to have their children participate in something that can be magic in a child's eyes. The service is not an item, but a lesson where we are growing our children and the people of Wendell with that small town charm and the history that will continue forever. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening. John Wilson, 508 Lemon Pepper Place in Wendell. I am one of the pastors over at Hepzibah Baptist Church, and I'm not sure that I can add anything that these other wonderful dancers and moms didn't share, other than I understand that this is an evidence-based hearing, and I have firsthand evidence as we've hosted Expressions of Worship for the last 6 months due to the inability to fit them in their current space. When our recreation director came to us and asked if we would host them, it was an unequivocal yes, because I know as a dance dad, I have 2 daughters, one who is 13 and one who is 7, both who have danced there since they were very small at Expressions of Worship, that there are parents around all of the time. And so when it came to us as Hepzibah Baptist Church, a question of whether we would host them, we said yes, because it was a blessing to these families. It was a blessing to this community. And I understand that the question before the council tonight is, do we want that blessing in our downtown area? And I just wanted to encourage you, and I wanted to urge you. One, I've been a witness to just a wonderful growth in this town. I'm not from Wendell, I'm from Roseville, but I had a cousin that lived here. So 20 some odd years ago, I know this goes into the record, so I won't say exactly how long ago, but I remember coming over here as a teenager and just thinking, man, there is nothing here. And I'm from Roseville, and you guys have turned that around. I am proud to be a Wendell resident. I have been for 14 years, and it is a blessing to get to serve in this community, and I think it's because of businesses like Expressions of Worship. And so I just wanted to close with two thoughts, one from Proverbs 28. It says, when a land transgresses, it has many rulers. That means it changes all the time, but with a man of understanding and knowledge, its stability will long continue, and I think that's what we're seeing here in this town now, and I wanted to encourage you to continue that. And if you haven't seen it tonight, Proverbs 15:19, without counsel, plans fail, but with a multitude of advisors, they succeed. And so I just would encourage you to listen to the multitude of advisors who have come to this podium and raise their support. So thank you.
Anyone else? This is your last chance. All right, anything else from the board? Questions, comments from the board?
I've got a question for the applicant. Ms. Lee, can I ask you to come up? Thank you. I'm going to ask a series of questions that I think are yes, but if I'm wrong, please correct me. And I'm just sort of taking notes off what I've heard and what I've seen in the hearing. You believe this business will promote foot traffic downtown?
Yes.
You believe this is a kid-friendly type business?
Yes.
You believe that it promotes moral values and protects the small-town charm?
Yes.
You've got a plan in place and a backup plan in place for the 80 students and the mom and dads that come every 55 minutes?
Yes.
Do you believe that this business supports all the other businesses around town?
Yes.
Sir, are you aware that, in my opinion, you presented what I call a perfect special use permit case? I thank you for it.
Thank you for your time.
I'm going to say one more thing. I'm a small business owner myself, and I know sometimes you guys come up here and talk to government, you get concerned. I bet the path you took was arduous and long. I don't know, because by the rule, I can't have a conversation with you. But I thank you for your patience. I thank you and your staff for your patience.
All right. I'd like to thank Brian. He made me get a lot of information that I didn't like getting together. But now I realize why you made me do that, sir, and it was to meet the criteria of what this special use permit was. So nice job on the presentation you did for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any further questions?
Anything else from the board?
Just one more.
Yeah.
Rob, I've heard a couple times, so will this new location, will this eliminate the need for all the other spaces? Everything will now be in one location?
Yes.
Perfect.
And 32 North Main, I want to rent as fast as possible, but it will remain open until construction is completed.
Understandable. Thanks.
All right, anything else from the board? All right, let's close the public hearing.
I would remind Commissioner Honeycutt that you can have a conversation. You can even be lobbied on such matters. I believe the attorney normally advises us that if you have been lobbied on such matters, you should disclose that, and you should provide whether or not it influences your ability to be impartial in this quasi-judicial hearing. And having stated all that, I will say that Mr. Lee stopped me at breakfast one morning and had a conversation with me about this prior to it becoming a special use permit, and that has not impacted my ability to be an unbiased party in this. And with that, Madam Mayor, I'd be willing to make a motion to grant the special use permit with the following condition: that all applicable building permits, laws, and codes are obtained or maintained.
Can you add the parking thing on there as well? Didn't
And that the parking agreement shall be
maintained?
maintained.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion to approve the special use permit for the property at 31 North Main with the condition that all permits be obtained and maintained by the property owner, and that the parking, I don't know how you wanted to word it, the parking contract be maintained, a parking agreement be maintained. All right, is there any discussion on the motion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. So it passes 5-0. All right, let's move into Section 6, our administrative items. Item 6A is a Meet on Main road closure and co-sponsorship request for 2025.
Good evening.
Meet on Main is back for the 2025 season. They are once again asking for a series of road closures.
You want
The-
to just hold on just a minute? Let everybody exit the room. It's always so disappointing when everybody leaves. I feel like we have good stuff we're still going to talk about.
I'll try not to take it personally.
I know. It kind of hurts my feelings a little bit.
I feel like there will be an impact. I think the two are related.
I think so. Yeah. One of them is.
I mean, she called your name and the room cleared. I don't know what to say.
Okay. Can somebody shut those doors back there, please? Okay, they're shutting. Okay. Okay, now go.
Thank you. Meet on Main is scheduled for the dates you see before you, April 11th, May 16th, June 20th, September 19th, and October 17th as a rain date. The applicant is requesting the street closures of Main Street between 4th and 2nd, Campen, Tobacco Alley to Pine, Depot Street, Cypress to Pine, and new addition for this year, 4th Street between Cypress and Pine. As we have in past years, Police Department will make necessary road closure announcements and railroad notifications. The map of the proposed road closure was in your packet. The applicant also requests co-sponsorship, which will exempt the event from any non-staffing fees. Happy to answer any questions.
All right, any questions from the board?
Madam Mayor, I move we approve the temporary closure of Main Street, Campen Street, Depot Street, 4th Street, and approve the co-sponsorship request with the 2025 Meet on Main events.
All right, we have a motion to approve the temporary closure for section of Main, Campen, Depot, and 4th, and approve the co-sponsorship request for 2025 Meet on Main. Is there any discussion on the motion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. Item 6B is a Brownfield Task Order Number 16, Pleasant Grove HUD Environmental Review Preparation. Matt Garner, good evening.
Good evening. Back with another task order from Geosyntec, Task Order 16, to continue the work of the balance of the effort for the HUD environmental review for the town's community project fund grant. The environmental review requires the creation and correspondence of various materials between a number of regulatory agencies, all of which has been ongoing this spring, and the assembly and submission of all of that documentation to HUD and SHPO, and a lot of other administrative tasks that go along with it. Both the HUD environmental assessment funds, the EPA environmental assessment funds and the HUD community project funds are critical in the redevelopment of the former Carver School into the Pleasant Grove Community Center. Task Order 16 is budgeted with a not to exceed amount of $19,952, which are fully covered and reimbursable by the town's EPA Brownfield grant. I'm happy to answer any questions about the task order or the scope of work.
Any questions from the board?
Madam Mayor, I move we approve Task Order 16 of the town's master service agreement with Geosyntec and authorize the manager to sign same.
All right, we have a motion to approve Task Order 16 of the town's master service agreement with Geosyntec and to authorize the town manager to sign. Is there any discussion on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. All right. Moving to our other business. The first is Capital Area Metropolitan Planning Organization, and I believe they're canceled.
We got snowed out. To be
So,
determined when will be rescheduled.
Okay, we'll get you when, just let us know when it happens. And Central Pines Regional Council, Commissioner Deloach.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Regional Day was supposed to be this past Friday, the 21st, will also be rescheduled due to weather.
Okay. All right, let's move into our commissioners' reports. Commissioner Joyner.
Nothing tonight, Madam Mayor.
Commissioner Lutz.
Just one thing, just this Friday, the Wendell Methodist Church is having their annual pancake dinner. And so it's all the pancakes and sausage you can eat, and there's tickets still available. So if you need anybody, you can let me know, but you can also let anybody else who goes to the church. And, thanks so much.
Thank you. Commissioner Eatman.
I want to take a second to congratulate Commissioner Joyner on ending his reign as the Dancing with the Stars champion for Wendell and Zebulon, and formally announce that I'm now married to the star of the reigning champion of Dancing with the Stars of Wendell and Zebulon. My wife won on Saturday, so I guess I'm just bragging, but congratulations to her. Had a great time fundraising. It's a great event that several of our churches put on each year to raise funds to support a really important ministry to support children from Eastern Europe, Belarus. Love to talk about it more if anybody's ever interested, but good time was had by all. I think there are lots of videos and pictures, and congratulations to all the contestants, but especially the one I live with.
Commissioner Honeycutt,
None for me, Madam Mayor, thank you.
Commissioner Deloach.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will add that we will brag on our town as well. So congratulations to Emma on her victory, but also I do want to note that all of the champions of Dancing with the Stars are Wendellians. So Zebulon needs to step it up a little bit. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Real quickly, I want to remind everybody that Saturday, March 8th is Princesses in the Park. It's probably one of my very favorite events of the year. So it's going to be Saturday, March 8th, like I said, from 4 to 6 at the Wendell Community Center. So dress your little girls up. There are always little boys there as well that have gotten dragged there by sisters, you can tell. But they come like Batman or something like that, and they have fun as well. So please come to that. It's a lot of fun, it's family friendly, and there's no cost involved. I also wanted to take just a moment to thank the Public Works Department and our Police Department for their efforts during our recent weather event. It went on and on for days. We had outstanding preparation ahead of time and then cleanup afterwards and ongoing work while it was happening. So thank y'all for that, to our police and our Public Works. We really appreciate it and all the things that y'all did to keep us safe and warm and all during that time. All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Madam Mayor, I'd move that we go into closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11A5.
All right, we have a motion to go into closed session. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Why didn't somebody tell me we're going into closed session?
It was my fault. I saw it on the